Hey guys, back with another Echoing Thoughts podcast here, episode number 42. And this episode, we're going to break down some more Damien clears. Got my guy Truffleox, huge carry in our Damien run. He had to sub for Frenchies, our Mercedes, our top DPS, and he honestly stepped in and killed it. He has his video. I'm going to go check it out. Put the link in the description below. He best ice landing mage in the game by far, and just was unbelievable. Honestly, exceeded expectations. It's very hard for Damien just to show up, kind of with no experience, which is pretty much what he had. He never experienced, half of phase 2 before this, and he just absolutely came in, held aggro for a bit, handled orbs nicely, and put out huge DPS. So props to him, shout out to him. And then we're going to do the Inoysis first clear. NA, congrats to them. It's funny because they're insane players, class. And I think they were honestly really close to clearing back when we were having our first clear, our second clear, and I think their biggest issue was they have too many DPSers. They had so many people in rotation for their team. They didn't have a solid 10, and it's really hard to kind of get synergy and get mechanics, even with a bunch of players that are very good and a guild that's been around for a long time that performs very well. It's still very challenging to kind of find a good groove when people here and there are not showing up, even if they're doing insane DPS. So it's great for them to clear, excited for them. I'm sure they're going to, I think their time was better than any of our previous times. So they're going to smash it, clear weekly, and you kind of get that monkey off their back and, keep being insane. They did a great job, so I can't wait to break that one down. But before that, I just want to answer a few questions. And if you have any questions overall for me about anything, really, comment below. Let me know. I'd love to answer your guys' questions. DM me in Discord at EchoMSM. But I got three here. Two, and then kind of one that isn't from a fan or anybody in the comments, but just something that I thought was an important topic to bring up, and we'll talk about that. But the first one is from Joel Torres 5549. He says, as free to play, should you go ancient route or grind Necro, not taking into account going for chaos? And this is a great question because this past patch really changed things, the meta. It really did. With this new Exalt improvements, I think it makes Ancients very, very viable. Not just for free-to-play players, for everyone. I mean, the cap difference between, first of all, level 50 Ancient is not half bad. 808, level 50, I think that probably comes out around 21, 22, 23 mil cap. I guess depending on your soul and other things, but if you're top and bottom, things like that. But that's a lot. We have a few people in our Damien team that don't even have 22, 23 mil cap. I think a few, maybe 2 or 3. So definitely viable to do end-game content with that. And even if you get to Chaos, look at that. 1 million cap, and then work your way up to level 60, get to Absolab. It's definitely not out of the realm for a free-to-play player, or even a middle-tier player, a whale, to go that route for the armors, get it to level 50, get it to Chaos, and then go from there, right? And be viable. For weapons, though, I still prefer Necro. Fair trade is such a huge advantage, not just in bossing team content, but mainly for solo content. And a lot of free-to-play players tend to be solo players, and just doing things like Covert, Mulong, Solo Lotus. Huge difference. I shared the video of an Inherent Phantom versus a Necro Phantom, how much easier it was with the Necro because of fair trade. Yes, the stats are better. Yes, Inherent, you can go to Chaos a lot easier. I just think fair trade is such a game changer. And if you want to go Inherent first, just for that free, extra cap, you have one, go for it. And then have a Necro project on the side. I just think it's worth it because if you may hit the first one, you may hit the second attempt. If you have a CDD alt army, you can get attempts in pretty easily with lucky Mastercraft scrolls. You just never know. I just think the risk reward, the reward outweighs the grind basically. Ancient armors, you can do it. That works. I think the numbers are very good, even if the top and bottom. Weapon, I try to get Necro. I try to save up and try to get that. If you got to do inherent weapon first, and then have a Necro project on the side, I think that's a great route to take as well. Probably one that I would highly recommend. But yeah, that's my take on that. That's a great question because this update kind of changes things, in my opinion. I think previously I would have said just Necro, wait it out. It's worth it. But yeah, those numbers are nice for the cap increases, and you never know what they're gonna give. If they may give more cap, in the end, down the line, right? They've done it twice this year. Who knows? They might just give us more free cap. So you may not even need Necro armors if you're free to play players to do endgame content. Great question. Thank you for that. Second question from DReepy4151. Hey Echo, may I ask you why you quit DS and go to Patley? So I may have mentioned this briefly. I started out as a Demon Slayer, came back, quit, came back, quit, came back. Demon Slayer, when 5th Job came out. So that was summer of July 2021 was when 5th Job came out. So I probably came in like in August, September, back to Demon Slayer. And I loved it. Had a great time. Wailed out. Top DPS in the guild. Demon Slayers were fun. They were strong. I was doing hard magnet solos on it. They had iframes. They had a stun. They have good DPS. They're just flashy. They look awesome. They fly. They have self heals. They have passive heals. They were a great class. Then I had alt Pally. And when we started doing Arc, the Paladin, like my Demon Slayer was our first Arc clear, which was I think like February 2022. February 2022. My Demon Slayer was DPS number 1. My Pally was rank number 9. Right? But Pally was just straight there for threaten, for support, towers, res, things like that. It wasn't doing any damage. And I just felt like Paladin was way more irreplaceable. The meta obviously has changed, but not really. Right? Fair trade has made it acceptable not to have a Paladins, but the Paladin DPS is much better now. Back then, when I made the reroll, fully mained Paladin, it was one because I just saw that the Paladins were always going to be irreplaceable. We didn't have many in the server in general that were high-end bossers. And so I just knew that, having a good Paladin is like having a good Bishop, right? If you have a good Bishop that can support and DPS, you're just a step ahead, or you just have a higher chance of clearing and doing better and, clearing content faster because of that. Our ARC teams were some of the best. We didn't have the best DPSs, but I remember our ARC times were so fast compared to other classes because our Bishop was really good and our Paladin was very good. And the DPSs kind of were wash, and they made the difference. So, and then obviously Paladin changes made it that much easier. Remaster, things like that. The Echo changes, Divine Echo changes. But at the time, I didn't know about that. I just saw Paladins kind of being needed for everything, and the Demon Slayer DPS being replaceable. There's a lot of DPS. Paladins were hard to come by. And so that was an easy decision for me. And plus, Paladin's solo content was a lot smoother, fit my playstyle better, which is usually the number one thing that I tell people when it comes to choosing a class or rerolling. The playstyle has to fit, right? And I just loved their up jump, which was just like a very responsive one button tap, not a double jump or a fly like a Demon Slayer. I just wasn't very good at that on my phone. So I like just being able to react quicker to like up jump, like a hard Magnus spin, for example, at the time. Up jump was just nice. The dash was nice, much smoother. The class was flashy, obviously. Threaten was huge for like Hard Magnus and Covert and Mulong and things like that. Solo content, which I love to do. And it was, it was just a never looking back, to be honest. And it's funny because I'm one of those people that love to re-roll. Like I played Shadow War, I played Dual Blade, I love playing alts. I like, trying out new things. And came back to Demon Slayer. I had Demon Slayer, I had like a Wild Hunter, I had a Paladin. I was playing all kinds of classes, right? In 2022, I was playing Phantom, Shades, Wind Archers, doing Hard Magnus carries, and I loved that. But I kept sticking to Paladins, the main. Never looked back. No regrets. Nothing against Demon Slayer. I think Demon Slayer is awesome and fun, and I just saw a team clear Damien with 2 Demon Slayers on it. Huge props to them, and shout out to the Demon Slayer class that people are still repping it. When everyone rerolled to Paladins, I think they're a great class. I just personally prefer Paladins at the time, and I prefer it now. I just love it. No regrets. So that was a great question, kind of a little nostalgia throwback to story time, Paladin life. But yeah. And then the last question, kind of just a little thought or topic that was brought up was, with this new patch, there was the cap difference is just huge. Right? The gap is just never before seen in the game, right? This is Korean Maple Story 2.0. So we cleared Damien 3rd time this past Monday. So one of our top DPS, our Nightwalker, hit Absol on his shoes. So now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set. And he got to level 60 because he had Chaos Fodders ready and waiting. Pretty smart, right? His cap is huge. I don't know if he wants to tell me. People can do the math. He's he's at 43.9 mil cap. And people are like, that's like shook. That number is astronomical. Mine, I'm 2 set Absol, full level 50. Just hit a level, one of my Absols just hit level 52. I'm 30.2 mil cap. He has 43.9 mil cap. What? Like I said, we have players on our Damien team. Second team to clear Damien in the world at 21 mil cap, half of it. A few of them. Half of it. That's insane. I get it. People are like, why does it have to be that big? Why does the gap have to be that big? And my thought process is, my thinking is, why not? Like, when one of my favorite things about this patch was just a little thing, the banner. People hitting exalts. What level the exalt is. Level 6, level 7, level 10, whatever it is. That's nice. Nothing brings people together and gets people excited about when, like someone hitting a Necro, right? That was a huge thing for the past few years. Now exalts are huge. Everyone sees it. Everyone gets hyped. You get hit back to back. Keep it going. People want to try it too. Keep, feel that high, right? And that's one thing. But even better is actually seeing gains from that, right? Like my Chaos going from level 50 to 52, but 450k cap. That is so much cap for one pass. That's worth it. Right? That just is. Right? And that, you can't complain. That's a lot of cap, right? Yeah, the gap is huge. These people that are at 40 mil plus cap were 15 mil cap. Level 50, full level 50 Necros, January of 2023. Were 15 mil cap, under 16 mil cap. While full level 40 Necros was 14 mil cap, 1 mil cap difference. Maybe 1.5 mil cap difference. Now it's 20 Now they're doubling it. 20 mil plus difference. I think it's great. They deserve it. They invest in it. They should reap the benefits, right? And as you, selfishly, and me, selfishly, and for everyone else that's trying to progress, get more cap, each hit just is actually impactful. Everyone sees it, and you actually see it in your GPS, in your PRs, and you actually want to try out hitting new PRs and things like that. I think it's just great. You can, the end is far away for me and other people. The gap is just going to get bigger. But from, everyone's progress is different, and I just think that it is nice to see actual gains per pass. Because those passes are hard to come by. They're hard to come by. So that's just my take. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I get it. If you're frustrated, surprised. I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, it's Absolab level 60 is 4.4 mil cap now. Absurd. But we'll take a quick break. Need to get some water, and then we'll check out these Damien clears. Be right back. All right, we're back, and we got my guy Truffle Locks. Gonna speed this up a bit, but I'm gonna be honest, killed it. I was expecting a lot from him, to be honest, because he's trying to lead his own team, and he's just filling in for us. Sorry about that, but it's I was expecting him to. Even though he has insane gear, look at his cap. I think he's above, he's 4-set Absol, full level 60, best ice lightning mage in the game, probably one of the best geared players in the game. But Damien is a different animal, right? It's not Lotus. You can't just stand there. We haven't been doing it for a long time. And he honestly killed it. He was amazing. He was holding aggro at times. He was doing insane DPS. I don't think he died. He may have died once. And he's ran probably maybe less than a handful of times ever. And I think this is the first time he's ever gotten to like 3 orbs, right? Or definitely, not even to World Tree, which is the 20% mark left in phase 2. And he absolutely killed it. Oh, ad time. So huge props to him, and he deserves a ton of praise for getting this, doing what he did, because we were expecting to clear. We were going to go into it expecting a lot of runs. I think this was our 3rd run with the team in this day, and we smashed it. Now, that stun was a little shaky, but look at his damage. 2 minutes in, he's at what? 90 bill DPM, keeping up, right? The nice thing is, I think about ice lightning mages, they have good consistent damage over long periods of time, over the 10-minute fight. Look at him, he handled that blink very well. It gets hectic, right? For Damien, we try to keep it very simple for him. DPS, if you're aggro, you know what to do, because he's going to be aggro for his team, so he knows his responsibility there. And just DPS, right? And if you got orbs, get out of there. But we try not to overwhelm him with altars. We try not to overwhelm him with too much stuff. I mean, we were doing a lot of callouts. But he's aggro here and not missing a beat, right? He's trying to avoid the tornadoes there. So he kind of misplays this dive right there. But iframe, huge, easy. Like, he knew how to respond when he was put in a situation that he wasn't expecting. So huge props to him. And look at his damage. Look, he's avoiding that stun, avoiding slashes. He's aggro here, right? So forcing that dash right, huge. seamless. You wouldn't think that this was his, one of his first runs. He stepped in and he killed it. So huge props to him. And isolating mages are not easy. Not like he's obviously the first isolating mage in the world to clear, but it's not one of those classes that you'd expect to do well because mages in general don't have self heals. They have a few iframes actually, but and their teleports are really nice. But as an aggro too, like he forced himself to have more HP. Mages naturally don't have a lot of HP, so they struggle there. But he just, he was kind of the exception to the rule and really exceeded my expectations. Um, but that's the thing. Like gear is one thing, but you got to have players. You got to have players that know what's going on. Damien is so mechanically taxing on the entire team. It's DPS, it's orbs, there's a lot going on. Everyone has to be on top of their game and do DPS. And look, he's aggro right here, forced that dash right. He knew exactly what to do. We didn't babysit him at all. We were, he stepped in and he held his own. And look, he's second DPS, right? 3 orbs here, right? I think he thinks he's orb here. I think he may be, but he's also aggro. So it's a little different. It's a little difficult, right? Because he thinks he's orb, but he's also aggro. So he's doing a great job of kind of making sure he positions. Look, he gets back to the corner here, forces that dash right. Huge. While also, he's going to pass DPS. He's going to become number 1 DPS here. Close, right? He's right there. Huge damage. So we have a little bad positioning here, but I'm really proud of the team. I mean, I think we finished this with 9 lives left, or 8. I think I stunned there. That was a pretty bad stun on my part. But he is doing, like, him and the team. Look at those orbs. Staying left, 10 lives left. That stun screwed us up because we didn't get it back out for World Tree, which is one of the things we try to focus on this week. So that was a mess up on me as a stunner. But we just pulled through. We just pushed through. Like, we're good on time. We're good on deaths. Our DPS. Our Phantom actually told us later on that he wasn't using his V2 or V3 at all because he had to mess up his presets. There he died. Yeah, it's for days, man. But so I know we have tons of room to grow because our Phantom sub buddy will do more DPS. Truffle Locks may honestly be aggro next run because this was his first time, and everyone gets better with practice, right? We had some players that did worse this run, DPS wise. They want to do better, so that's the nice thing, right? We're right back at it on Thursday, all trying to do better individually and as a team. Again, prioritizing mechanics, positioning, orbs, dashes, things like that. Like, everyone's flying up early. Probably a poor call out on my part. Yep, definitely was. Oh, they were trying to fly out for Petrify. So, yeah, we tried to. No stun meant that we were going to get petrified there. I'll talk about that in my guide. But look, he survives. Nice play. Get that PE up. Yeah, that was huge. And we're just trying to finish it off here, right? 130, about like 15% left. Less, And the hard part is where it's chaos, right? These orbs are huge, right? We're coming down to the timer. We have 8 lives left, but we're just still trying to maintain mechanics, right? That was a dash to the middle. Not great. I think Sia saved us there. But we just know this next 30 seconds is huge. Those orbs are not in a great spot. I think Sia saved him there. But like, we're just trying to get those orbs out of there, right? And I think that might have been, I don't know who that was, but dash to the middle, not great. But we kind of hang in there. Got him to dash right, stun him up, get those orbs, dash right there. We're going to stun it, get those orbs left, clean. And watch, we're just going to chunk them down right here. Chunk them down, DPS, finish it off, Get that clear, baby. Hyped. Let's go. I mean, we were super excited. Look, he finished with insane DPS. He did a great job. Um, let's just go back to what the charts were. Yeah, he's 701. So he was 70, 75, just under 75 bill DPM for his first clear. For his, one of his first runs ever. Didn't show it. Didn't act like it. Killed it. Absolutely killed it. Huge props to him. Check out his video. Comment on his. Show him some love. Like it. Subscribe to him. Expect more content from him. More Absols. More good kind of content. So he'll be back next week. Again, he'll have 2 runs with us. And then we'll get Frenties back. But shout out to him, man. Really carried us. Really stepped in and held his own. And we really hit the ground running. Like as if nothing happened. This is the Phantom. It's POV. Might be a little faster as it is. So, yeah. But this is their first clear. Shout out to them. Congrats to them. Their setup's pretty similar to us. They stun it here. Huge DPS. Look at that Pathfinder. Sheesh. Dang. Pathfinder pretty nice. And they have an interesting, one of the things I love about Damien and the current meta is that classes are showing out. It's really about gear and players. It's not about classes right now. I mean, obviously some classes do better than others. There's tiers to it, but they got Pathfinders up there. They got Hero, DB, Night Lord, DK, Phantom. They got 2 Pathfinders. 2 Pathfinders, the Pally. And, I mean, shout out to them representing the Pathfinders. A lot of good classes in there. And one of the things that, they took a little longer to clear than they wanted to, than they expected. I know they were trying to clear about the same week as we were, our first unbugged one. But it's funny because they just have so many big-time DPSers that I was talking to their hero that they just had a rotation of people. Like, they just have too many people, and they just couldn't create that synergy and consistent 10-man, because they had like 13, 14, 15 huge DPSs that all could have a say for being in the team and kind of sign up and be available. And their DPS is insane. You'll see the charts at the end. They have no big time carry, because the top 5 were within, I don't know, 50 bill of each other. 5 bill DPM, which is huge. And one of the things that I noticed is their death counts was great. I think they ended up with 9 lives left. I mean, they absolutely killed it. Like, this was probably like their best run by a mile, maybe, because they end up 9 lives left. Like, I think they, 940 was the time, or 920 was the time, so faster than our first clear. And it was just very, very impressive. They were locked in. They had a great sorry. They were locked in. Congrats to them. Huge props. Huge props to them there. One of the things that I'm sure that they had a lot of issues with as well was that their aggro kept switching. Like, it's gonna go from their Pathfinder to their hero to their DB. And I mean, look at that. Huge. Shout out to the Pathfinder. Ben Wong showing up. 4 minutes in. 80 something bill, 85 bill DPM. Sheesh. That's crazy. I mean, but that like goes to show you how Like if you have gear and you have cap and you know how to play your class and have consistent uptime, there's a lot of classes that can do a lot of damage. I mean, I've seen Demon Slayers in Asia, Arc in Asia, Xenons. There's a lot of, not necessarily underrepresented, but just, just not common classes that you see. Not just doing damage, but doing great damage, doing good damage. And so it's pretty insane what we're seeing right now. I love to see it. Hope to see more content. I think the Sia point of view is as well. The Sia point of view is also on YouTube. I'll try to find it and upload it, or I post a description in below. But dang, I didn't realize this Phantom has 300k HP. My gosh. But they're on a good pace, right? There are 4 minutes left. Black Altar in the middle. Got it. Dash them right. Orbs it to the left. This is beautiful right here. He gets his burst up. Thingy Tempest right there. On Tornado. Get that orb out of there. Just clean. Just got to finish. I know a lot of teams right now, once the 20% mark hits, once the world tree hits, it gets a little chaotic. It gets hectic. People forget the skill rotation. People start to panic. You just got to stay calm. Got to keep comms clean. They do a great job of it in comms. You can kind of hear they calm themselves down. They don't get overexcited. Not too many people are talking. Very efficient with communication, and that's what I'm talking about with synergy and team comp. It's a very underrated thing that you need more than ever compared to other previous bosses. So shout out to them. I mean, Love is OP. Love is has been smashing in guild, World Elite Battle forever. The only way they lose to us is if they DC. So I mean, they got the gear, they got the whales, they got the big time players, and congrats to them. They really showed out here, and I can't wait to see, their future clears if they incorporate new people, how that affects their time, their DPS, and their situations. It's just fascinating because they have a lot of options. Like I think they're missing their Lumi, they're missing their Evan, they're missing some other people too, but they're missing their Mercedes too, Tyler. So I mean, they're right there. Great job with the world altar. They stunned it and they all flew up. You can kind of hear how they talk about it in their comms video from their point of view. I think the comms is in the Sia video. I hope the Sia still has it up and showcases that. But they're home stretch. They're doing much better than us on time and DPS. They just got to finish. Right? They just got to finish. Avoid those tornado, the fireballs. Get those orbs left. Dash them right here. There you go. Easy. He's going to fly up here. And this is a huge DPS window. Tornado. After he's going to fly up here. Big DPS window after this. They're probably going to... No, I don't think they can stun it. Yeah. Get that orb out of there. They're going to finish it off right here in the next 10 seconds. They killed it. They did a great job. 9 lives left. Jeez. I missed the time. 38. Huge. So I ended that clip a little bit early. My memory kind of messed up and the video stopped. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for, if you made it all the way to the end. Shout out to the Inoysis team for clearing and for sharing their videos and their comms and things like that. Shout out to Truffalocks for killing it in his first run, and congrats on the clear. And all those other teams in Asia that have cleared and have or are progressing in Damien. Excited to see more teams clear this week, this reset, and I see you guys next time. Bye bye. Say bye bye.